You're listening to Link by Golf, the show where we dive into the stories, journeys, and passion behind the game we all love. I'm your host, Ross McGuire, and today's episode is a real treat. I'm joined by none other than Ronnie Clark, a Scottish senior golf legend with decades of experience, a champion's mindset, and some incredible stories from his travels. We're talking senior championship wins in multiple countries, lessons learned, and what keeps him coming back to the game year after year. If you enjoy this episode, make sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening right now. Please also leave a quick review to help more fans find the show. Okay, let's tee this one up. Here's my conversation with Ronnie Clark. Welcome to the podcast this week, Ronnie Clark. Ronnie, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, Ross. Appreciate it. It's been a while since I've seen you.
I only 32 years or something like that. I think we've probably seen each other in between, but you wouldn't have remembered that first day. I think you remembered the round, but you wouldn't have remembered me, I'm sure.
Okay, good. Anyways, good to see you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Ronnie, you're just back from a couple of trips, and one of them, you won the 2025 Italian Senior Amateur. So, and you also finished second in French. But I'd love you to talk about your recent trips and just give us some, some idea how you're feeling after those performances.
Yeah, well, it'd been a slow start. I'd spent a good chunk of the winter there in the States, and I wasn't playing that great. So I went out with very little expectation, to be honest. But the holy grail for us as seniors, as far as I'm concerned, is getting WAGR points so you can get into the US Senior Amateur, and you have to be in the top 25 in WAGR to do that. Otherwise you could contemplate going over a month before and playing an 18-hole shootout, which I'm not going to do. So the Italian Senior Amateur is not a particularly strong field, I'd have to say. So it maybe offers some easy WAGR points. But to cut to the summary on that, I didn't start particularly well, albeit I found myself in the last game with a Swedish guy and a Danish boy, and I was one behind both of them. The headline is that, unbelievably, I was 7 behind with 8 holes to go.
No way. Seriously?
So the Danish boy holed a second shot at a hole. He went to the turn in 4 under. I went to turn in 2 over. We both birdied the 10th. And to be honest, I was just playing for second place. That's all I was trying to do because it was his day. And to be honest, 5 under through 10, he could probably have been easily 7 or 8 the way he was playing. He was knocking the pin out. So I just kept plugging away. And even with 3 holes to go, I was just thinking, I just do not muck up here, just make second spot. And then he drove it in the water at 16 and I clawed one back, and then he 3-putted the par 3 and I made birdie, and my mate Derek Payton came out and was on the bag the last couple of holes, and he says, how's it going on the last tee? I says, well, I'm one behind. All right, okay. So the Danish boy 3-putts the 18th, and I 2-putted, and I said, right, Derek, it's a playoff. Let's get ready for a playoff. And there's quite a few people out watching and whatnot, and they're all asking what's going on. And I'm saying, it's a playoff. And Michael Flint, who's the unfortunate Danish boy, he says, well done, Ronnie, you win. No, Michael, it's a playoff. No, Ronnie, I shoot 70, you shoot 68. No, Derek, it's not a playoff. Get the beers up. I've won.
So you'd miscounted. You didn't really.
I'd miscounted, and I think that's because I was so focused on I'm playing for second place.
Yeah.
I came back in 5 under, just playing.
Wow, that's awesome.
Just trying to get second place and keep it going. I knew I was beating the Swedish boy. Because you don't know what's happening in front, but by all accounts, according to Derek, when he joined at 16, he said no, there's nothing happening in front. So yeah, so that was a bonus. That was a Brucey bonus. 7 shots behind with 8 to go.
That's incredible, Ronnie. And what course was that this year in Italy?
That was the Adriatic. What did they call it? The Adriatic. Bloody medal gone. The Adriatic course on the Adriatic coast and near Sardinia, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, great golf course. Some real tricky holes, bit of water about, typical European course. Not like playing at Erskine, not like playing at Western Gales or anything like that. Yeah. So yeah, that was a real bonus, and that gave me my Wagger a little boost.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then you went to the French as well.
So immediately from that, Derek and I left Italy, went up to France, and where I was defending the French, which I won last year at Signosi, and I was in the last game again, and I didn't get over the line. I lost by a shot. But if somebody's telling me before that trip you're going to get a first and a second, whichever way around it was, you bite their hand off. The French is a stronger field than the Italian, way stronger field. Just still waiting to see what that does to my Wagger because the results aren't in yet. But yeah, second, I had an 8-footer on the last to force a playoff with actually a good friend of mine, Jean Charles Gouverneur, who I keep telling you, he's younger than me. He's only 52 or something like that. It's not right. I'm 64. He should be giving me a stroke each 9.
Of course, you've just shot 5 under in Italy. Aye, very good, Ronnie.
Yeah, so that was a good trip, and so I'm waiting to see what that does to my Wagger. But there's only one more chance to boost the Wagger before the American cut-off, which is the English down at Woodhall Spa the first week in June.
Okay.
So that will need to be. I suspect that will need to be like a top 3 or 4 finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
To do that. So,
but it's a combination, Ronnie, of what a run you've been on. You won the Scottish seniors in 22. You won the English seniors in 23. You won the French in 24. I'd love you to talk about some of those experiences as well. And first of all, starting with the Scottish in 22.
Yeah, 22, last day, was playing with my good friend Paul Moultrie and Stephen Creed, the English boy, in a howling gale round Arbroath.
Oh, nice.
Howling gale. And unbelievable. Again, behind going into that, I think Paul was leading, Stephen Creed was second, I was third, going the last 3 ball and swings and roundabouts. And then, I find myself 2 shots ahead on the 18th tee. Don't hit it out of bounds, Ronnie. Hit it, aim it at the first fairway and cut it back. Don't get out of bounds. Yeah, so that was pretty special. Played again the same kind of attitude, just not really going out with the first thought of I'm going to win this. Just hang around, stick in, make sure you get a high place, see what happens. You can't dictate what other people are going to do on the day, so you just have to play your own game and try and. It's difficult, add it up at the end and see what see if you've got the lowest score type thing. But I did from the last few holes at Arbroath know what was happening, so
right.
I felt I managed the game pretty well the last few holes in very strong winds.
But the thing that's interesting there, Ronnie, is you're talking about focusing on your own game, and that's always the best thing to do. I think so many of us when we're playing, and I'm certainly nowhere near your level, but you get towards the end of the last few holes, and even at the start, sometimes you're thinking, everybody's going to be doing really well, everybody's going to be playing great, the scores are going to be fantastic. And the reality is, everybody's still facing the same demons that you are. They're just getting through them, sometimes better than you do. So it's really interesting that you're saying focusing on yourself just keeps you in a good position.
Yeah. Well, one thing I feel I have learned playing the seniors golf is that it's seniors golf, and there's more maybe fallibility amongst your fellow competitors than there is amongst the more elite players. So you just never know at senior level. You don't need to shoot. Sometimes you need to shoot a low number to win the event, but more often than not, if you're a +2, +3 handicap, play your handicap, shoot a buffer score, and you'll not be far away.
Of course, absolutely, especially around tough golf courses, right?
Yeah. I always a guy who Paul Girvin, I don't know if you know that name. He was an ex-Walker Cup player. He was assistant pro at Erskine for a spell. And Paul used to tell me in these 36-hole events in particular, see the 80 of a field, 40 of that field are there to make up the numbers. Of the remaining 40, 20 are going to have a bad day. So if you get your head right, you're only playing against 20 guys.
Absolutely.
So you get your head right and play decent, you'll pick up a prize.
Yeah.
I took that. That's from 40 years back.
Yeah. But then you took that into the English as well the next year. And I imagine the competition would have been pretty tough in the English event as well.
Well, and that was the first time I'd ventured south and played in the English.
Okay. Even better.
Yeah. And with the English too, you can't help but notice what's happening because there are scoreboards at more frequent intervals.
Okay.
So I knew what was happening. So in regulation, I knew I just needed to hit the last green with a wedge and 2-putt and I'd won. But I didn't. So it was
much of a Rory McIlroy moment.
Yeah, it was a wee bit of that. So it was a playoff, and it was a 3-hole playoff with Trevor Foster, who was the defending champion. And I was fortunate enough to close it out with a par at the third extra hole was good enough, a 4-footer which went in. That was stressful, but the English is a very strong field. 288 of a field in the English.
Wow, so it's the same as the amateur championship.
Yeah, and you play on
size. That's huge.
Yeah, you play on 2 different courses, and Alwoodley's like a mini Sunningdale type thing. Beautiful golf course, and Panel was the other one. So, yeah, wow, winning the English was, I didn't see that coming. I have to tell you, I didn't see that coming. But I don't know what to say. I played in the English last year, and my defence wasn't particularly clever. But
you still had the French to soften the blow. So how was the French last year when you won?
Well, the French was a bizarre ending. It was a 3-man playoff for the French round Signosi, which was a not particularly low scoring. Because it's a course where there's an elephant buried in every green, so the putting was a little bit defensive. It was tricky, and it was Stephen Creed and myself and the French boy in the playoff, and the second extra hole, the French boy bowed out at the first hole. And at the second extra hole, I'll tell you how quick the greens were. Stephen Creed had 8 feet down the hill, 2 putts to win. And Peyton's on the bag again, and I'm standing at the side of the green with my cap off, ready to go and shake hands.
Oh, giving it the old special to see if he can turn his luck.
And he power lips out 2.5, 3 feet, and then misses the return.
Wow.
So I put the cap back on, and off we went to the third extra hole, back down the first, and we have that in 4. And then the 18th, which is it's like a 500 and off the back pegs, it was 660 yard par 5. Off the tee we were playing, it was close to 600. You couldn't. It was like a double dog leg up the hill through the trees. You couldn't sniff it in 2. And Stephen hit his second shot, and honestly, I just remember Derek says, "Where'd that go, Ronnie? Where's that?" And I says, "Hit the tree. It's in the garden." And so then Derek says to me, "So right, Ronnie, he's in the garden. He's out of bounds. Right. Well, just hit it left in at the trees and play for a 6." That's exactly what he said to me. I said, what are you talking about?
Where's the positive psychology going for your caddy?
No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. You can win it with a 6. Don't hit it in the tree. Oh, right, okay. We still argue about that now, about what you actually said. But I'm telling you, that is what he said. Hit it in the trees left and play for a 6. Really?
Imagine Harry Diamond saying that to Rory at the Masters.
Yeah.
Right, Rory's just smashing the trees, pal.
So anyway, Stephen ultimately took a 9 up that hole, unfortunately, which I wouldn't wish on anybody. And I made a 5 to win the French. And it's I don't go to these events thinking you win it. You just go to these events hoping you're going to do well and get a place,
enjoy it as well, and
get some Wagger points.
Yeah.
Make sure Scotland selectors know about it, and you don't think about winning as much. But yeah, wow, that's now
what a playoff record you've got going here.
Yeah, although I did
lose chance.
I did lose a playoff 2 years ago in America, right enough in October. I was leading an event by 4 shots, and I got into a playoff and lost out at this second extra hole down at Lake Reynolds.
Right.
And that would be nice to break America, to win in America.
Of course.
That'd have been good, but can win them all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I do enjoy a playoff.
It seems like it. But Ronnie, we've jumped in, you're right, up to date. So where did it all start for you in terms of golf? Where did it kick off? How was it you got into the game?
Well, my dad just got myself and my brother to join Erskine way back. I think I joined in 67. Just as boys, not really interested. Played a wee bit as juniors, played junior team matches, and to be honest, as a teenager coming into senior golf, I was still playing rugby, skiing, squash, five-a-side football, everything. And yeah, I played golf and I played for the county early doors, but it probably wasn't until about 24, 25 I stopped playing senior rugby and just went all in.
Wow.
As it were, to the golf. Yeah. So, and from then, and I played in all the kind of Scottish Order of Merit events. As I say, I was in and out the Scotland squad from time to time with all these household names, the Brysons, the Watsons, Brooks, Mackenzie, Howard, Rankin, all these guys. But when I look back on it now, I wasn't at the same level as these guys. I played with a horrible little cut, had a dodgy grip.
A wee fade off the tee these days, Ronnie. You'd be power fading it, no bother. Perfect.
Yeah, I wasn't good enough, and I played 6-man county golf right up until I was 55.
Which is I was looking back. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, and
that really is phenomenal.
And then I resigned. Yeah, I resigned from that. Retired from that to focus on the senior golf.
Right.
And then as I turned 55, the European Golf Association lowered the age for European seniors to 50. Thanks for that, boys.
Cheers. Well done. Yeah, thanks for that.
Lowered. If we just had done it 1 year at a time, that would have softened the blow a wee bit.
Yeah, of course.
So I just focused on the senior golf since 55, and that's like, what's that, 9 years? Yeah, something like 9 years.
Yeah, but even going back a bit, Ronnie, I mean, you've won a phenomenal number of like 36 hole events, and you talked about playing for the county there. Think about, I'd love to hear about some of the players you've played against in county matches, for example, over the years.
Well,
absolute household names, I'm sure.
Well, I played in a Renfrewshire team with people like Dean Robertson, Bartley Howard, David Orr, Craig Watson, Murdy Carmichael, Matt Clark, Andy Farmer, Ian Cahoon, Gregor Monroe. Great players. We had a great team. We won 4 area team finals.
And you're talking about what a British amateur champion. You're talking about Walker Cup players and folks that have done well in the professional game and all kinds of levels. Really, really good golfers.
Yeah, and I was fortunate. I was more often than not for a long period of time paired with Craig Watson in the foursomes. It's just great to play with Craig because, as I said to you earlier, we were chatting. He really didn't care where I hit it, which was just as well, because
he's pretty relaxed, isn't he, Craig?
Yeah,
he's pretty laid back.
He would just say, "Ronnie, don't worry about it. We'll get up and down." And Craig could get up and down from the ball washer. You know, he could get up and down from the ball washer, and so it was great. I mean, players I've played against county level, I've played against. Comes to mind David Carrick, Gary Hay, Graham Shaw, Simon Mackenzie, Scott Knowles, Michael Brooks, Wilson Bryson. Yeah. I don't think I beat any of them. But
I'm sure you must have. And then you and Watty as a foursomes partner, that would be brilliant. Watty's backswing, for anybody that doesn't know, his backswing is slower than Sung GM's. Like Sung GM looks fast compared to Watty in a backswing.
Absolutely.
And it's not his practice swing. That's his actual swing, slower than his practice swing. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. But the short game, it's up there with professional standard. His short game back then was incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I caddied for him. I think it was only once, but I was going to try and play at Crowwood one time and I rocked up. I couldn't get a game as a reserve or whatever, so I kind of looked at the draw sheet. I'm like, oh, who's out there? I saw Watty's name, and I'd met him a few times through county things, caddying for other people. So I wanders away out to the 14th hole at Crowwood, pick up the bag. Hey Craig, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. He's kind of, I think it was 1 or 2 under or something, doing okay. Hits his drive up the middle of the fairway. He's got a wedge from whatever, 120, 130. Hits this wedge and holds it. and proceeds to win the 36 holer by about 4 shots. It was hilarious. So that's my claim to fame. I've got 100% record caddying for him. It was phenomenal that day.
Excellent. Maybe some player, Craig.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we get into the kind of seniors part, Ronnie. So, what's that been like? Obviously, we've talked about your recent victories. You've talked about some of the changes, but what do you think about the senior game for the amateurs and what's out there for people?
I think the standard of senior amateur golf has risen dramatically in the last 9-10 years. If I go back to when I turned 55 in 2016, I would almost go as far to say if you were a plus handicapper back then, you were almost a shoe-in to get in the Scotland senior team.
Yeah.
And now I've just had a note through from the Scottish Senior Golf Society. The first event is at Lossiemouth this year. And there's 170 entries for 132 starting places.
Wow.
And there are over 60 plus handicap indexes in the field. And if you couple that with the fact the European Golf Association dropped the age down to 50,
yeah,
there are some seriously strong players in Europe, to the point that I feel in the last couple of years we have been, for want of a better word, bullied on the course by stronger players who hit it longer.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I feel that the Scotland seniors, we suffer a wee bit from, there's a lot of ex-internationals, full internationals by today, who are not interested in playing senior golf, which I can kind of understand. Craig Watson, to take, just using Craig as an example, Craig for 10, 11 years played international golf at every level.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's now in the category of maybe, I'm not doing that again at this age type thing. Whereas some of us didn't get the chance to do it then, and now we're bursting to do it. People like Simon Mackenzie's still playing off +3 or +4 handicap, but he's not interested.
Yeah.
He's not interested. And we have just qualified for the top flight in the Europeans recently. Not too far away from places 9, 10, and 11, but miles away from 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
And we won the Europeans in 2016 in Slovenia, which was my first Europeans. And we were the strongest team when we won in Europe. Ian Brotherson, myself, Dinger Bell, we were as long and longer than anybody that was playing then, but it's flipped.
Yeah.
It has flipped.
I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Lomond Golf Tours for their support. Let's hear from them now.
At Lomond Golf Tours Scotland, we understand that choosing the perfect golf trip can bring its challenges. With more than 500 golf courses in Scotland and another 2,000 around the UK and Ireland, many of our guests don't know where to start. But for Lomond Golf Tours, it's not just about the golf, it's about providing an experience that will exceed expectations, that will turn dreams into realities, and that will create memories that last a lifetime. Lomond Golf Tours have helped thousands of guests build bespoke golf trips to create a magical experience. Travel in style, whether executive chauffeur travel, whether it's golf on a major championship venue or one of our hidden gems, 5-star accommodation or a boutique bed and breakfast, or is it whiskey tasting on a private boat? Lomond Golf Tours are here to help build the tour of a lifetime. Whether you're celebrating a special occasion or ticking it off your bucket list, embark on a trip that you'll remember forever. To learn more about our offerings for 2025 and beyond, visit www.lomondgolftours.com.
Now let's get back to the pod. And what age, Ronnie, is it 50 for all tournaments now, in terms of sort of higher elite level seniors golf?
Yeah, I mean,
the French level.
The likes of the French is over 50, but you do have there are over 60s events as well that you can go and play in. The British seniors is over 55.
Oh, is it still?
Yeah, the Scottish seniors is over 55. The SSGS runs 8 36-hole events, and they're 50 and up, and the match play is 50 and up. It just makes it a wee bit lopsided for the Order of Merit.
Yeah.
Guys between 50 and 55 can't pick up the bigger points that are available for the British or the Scottish stroke play. It's a wee bit lopsided, yeah.
And do you think that the British Association, and I guess that's the RNA that's running that, and then the Scottish, will they go back? Will they bring it down to 50? Do you think? Says a man I'm 49 this year, so, and not that I'm thinking I'm getting near the Scotland team, but to play in these events would be fantastic, right? You're talking about great venues, great fields, great players.
I honestly don't know, but senior golf in America, amateur level is 55.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's 55. England do not consider anybody under 55 even for the European team championship, and they could put 50-year-olds into that team.
Yeah,
that's a different kettle of fish. They've got a bigger pool of players to pick from.
Of course, absolutely, yeah.
So I don't know the answer to that question, Ross, to be honest. I mean, I'm not involved with the RNA, and I don't know how they think and work, but it seems that it would make common sense to regulate it all just like the pro game as well, because the pro is 50 and we have this chopping and changing at the amateur level where it's 50 and 55. It seems a wee bit out of sync, but who knows? Who knows? Watch this space, I guess.
Well, I mean, I would like to see, and I think the great thing with the seniors part is that you get kind of age categories, right? If it's, and I'll make it up, let's say there's like a 72-hole seniors event that's not necessarily a national event, or maybe it's 54-hole. But if you've got like a section that's 50 to 55 and then a section that's 55 and up or over 60, like, I mean, I'd love to play in those types of events and get access to different courses, as I said, playing with really good players. I think it's just an amazing opportunity when you get to that age.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I can't begin to overstate enough how competitive it is. The camaraderie amongst all the players is terrific. It's they're all good social events as well as being fiercely competitive. And make no mistake, they are fiercely competitive.
You must have known some of these guys in the Scottish side for some amount of time.
Yeah, I mean the team that played. I mean Robert Jenkins and I go back a long, long way back as youths. Played Robert in county matches. Never beat him in a county match. Never beat him in a county match either, which he likes to keep reminding me of.
Well, we'll see if I can get him on the pod. That's a message for Robert. See if we can get him on. Better known as Big Rab. That's we're using his Sunday name today.
No, better known as Shredder.
Shredder. Well, my nickname's The Shed, so I said to Robert or Big Rab that it could be Shed Interviews the Shred. So I think that would be fantastic.
Good.
So Robert, if you're listening, we're needing you on the show.
Yeah. Paul Moultrie, I go back a long way with Paul Moultrie as well, both in business and golf. No, Paul won the Scottish Senior Order of Merit last year, having recovered from a prostate issue.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it was quite a story. Quite a story. He missed out. I don't think he played the first event, and then he was recovering from prostate cancer. So he was, by his own admission, he would say he was weaker, but ultimately he won the Order of Merit, which was a terrific story.
Phenomenal. Yeah,
terrific
story. Phenomenal. Good on him.
And he still made the European team, and he made the home international team.
My goodness.
Yeah, it was quite a story.
Yep. Yeah, that's incredible. And forgetting the championship, that's just a brilliant story that he's getting his health back. Superb.
Yep.
So then, Ronnie, what about life away from golf? I imagine you don't get a huge amount of time away from golf, but what's your pursuits outside the golf course?
No, there is no life out with golf. No, there is no life.
You're too busy traveling.
I'm still working, believe it or not. I still operate as I would describe myself as semi-retired.
Right. Okay.
But I operate as a consultant in the construction industry.
Okay.
So I have a handful of clients, maybe kind of smaller businesses, subcontractors who I advise commercially and contractually from time to time. So and they all know, just in case there are any of them are listening to this, they all know I play all this golf. They all know when they can't get me that I'm on a golf course, but they know I'll get back to them
at some point.
At some point.
With a few beers or champagne in you after you've picked up another trophy.
Yeah. So no, that works quite well. I've been doing that for the last 5-6 years. I had a real job 5 or 6 years ago, and I was still playing some senior golf then. I played for the team when I had a real job, and to be honest, I'm not really sure how I did that, to be honest. But the last 5 or 6 years has just been, because I've been able to play in everything I want to play in.
Yeah.
I mean, last year I was in Spain, Bulgaria, Luxembourg, States 3 times, Bulgaria again, France. I mean, and still turned over a consultancy business in the course of it.
No wonder you're still working. You need to. It's some travel, Bill.
Yeah, you got to work up the air miles, and then you need someone to pay for them. Yeah.
You're getting more air miles than Bob McIntyre at this point, and more exotic courses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So looking ahead, Ronnie, what's on the horizon for this year, and any goals that you've got? You're kind of circled out. You mentioned America. What's the tournaments? I know you were talking about getting the Wagger points. What's the specific tournaments you want to get to in the States?
Well, ultimately, I still hold out some hope that I might get back to the US Senior Amateur. I've played in that the last 2 years. I understand I'm the first Scotsman to ever play in it 2 years ago. I got to the last 16, and I was in the States last year. I played in a thing called the Concession Cup.
Oh yeah.
Which is so I played in that in 16 and 18 for GB&I versus America over there, and this year it was a European team, and there was 6 seniors in it. So I was fortunate enough to be in that, which is a great experience. Other than the fact it went like a Ryder Cup, we were ahead after the foursomes and the 4 balls, and then capitulated in the singles to lose. That seems to be the way that's going just now. But the US Senior Amateur is, I can't stress enough to my mates and my colleagues that The USGA run it, Ross, and they run it like a US Open.
Yeah.
They set the course up like a US Open.
Oh, I bet they
The
do.
rough is brutal. The way they treat you, and the way they run it is like, well, it's just like a pro event. I guess it's just like a pro event. And I was fortunate enough, I got tickets this year. We walked around Bay Hill when we were over in Florida in March on a
wow.
Friday. And it was
Yeah.
just, it's just, these guys don't know they're living playing on golf courses in that condition. They don't know they're living.
No.
I'd love them to come down at the April Medal and give him a 2 o'clock tee off and see how he gets on in the front right bunker at 16 at 4:30 in the afternoon.
And it depends what course you're talking about in Scotland. Jeez.
Aye. I'd like to see how good their bunker play is then.
Let's see
Honestly.
how good they are on a Parkland golf course in the middle of April, as you say, with the first medal. Aye, very good, boys.
Yeah.
How's
You'll
your
see-
greens?
You can really hear me shouting at the TV when I'm watching the golf and he's knocked it in the bunker there. Radar, how's he lying? I'll tell you how he's lying, Radar. Absolutely perfect. No wonder these guys are good out of bunkers. But give him 4:30 on a Saturday afternoon in the front right bunker at 16. I see you get out of that one, boy. See how good you are out of that.
Absolutely. No, I know it's funny. I mean, I've played a few times in the States, not a huge amount, but I do remember being on a putting green once with another Scottish guy. I'm on this putting green, and both of us at the same time are hitting our first practice putt, right? From like 10 feet. And we've both knocked it off the green, literally. And it didn't even seem like a downslope. Just touched it. Whoosh. Where did that go? This is going to be interesting today.
Well, the Concession Cup was initially played at the Concession Golf Club in Florida, which was
Wow.
the design of Nicholas and Jacqueline. It was all about the Concession and the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
And back then it was played in April. So you're coming out of the Scottish winter from the cord sanded green to 14 on the stimp meter. And you wonder why you can't make a putt. You know, we're used to over here, if you hit a bad putt, well, I'll hang around for a wee bit, see if it bumps back online and goes in. On these greens, as soon as you hit a poor putt, it's not going in. It's never coming back online.
I think
it's never coming back online.
Did Gordon Sherry not say that when he went to the Masters? He'd spent the whole winter practicing in Scotland pretty much and rocked up at the Masters. And he's like, what's just happened here?
Yeah, well, the mistake he made was he should have practiced all winter on his kitchen linoleum. That's what he should have been doing.
Aye, going down the stairs.
Yeah. It's a different ball game. It's almost like you need a different putter. And the putter that works on these greens does not work on the greens that we get here. Occasionally, you know, some of the events you'll get quicker greens, but you rock up to the Saturday Medal, they ain't going beyond 9 on the stimp meter.
Yeah, absolutely.
They ain't going beyond 9.
No, and that's really amazing courses as well. So, yeah, absolutely. So, Ronnie, a quick few questions to wrap us up here. Favourite course you've ever played? I mean, you got plenty. It's going to be a tough one.
Man.
You can give me a top 3 if that's easier. We'll say your top 3.
Okay, I'm going to go Concession.
Yep.
I'm going to go the Links at Fancourt in South Africa.
Pulling out some names here.
And I'm going to go Kiwa Island.
Shockers.
And I'm not sure if I can top them. I mean, Le Bord that we just played the other week there in France was a wee bit too early for it, so the greens were a little bit ropey, but what a layout, what a golf course.
Yeah.
But not quite, those 3 are, they kind of stick out. Concession. I mean, I would rank them above Loch Lomond. I'd rank them above. If I had to throw a links course in there, I'd go Muirfield.
Yeah.
Closely followed by Western Gales because I'm a member there, and I just love it. Yeah, I love it. It is stunning. Yeah.
Fantastic. You might have had a few of these, but what's your most nerve-wracking moment in the golf course that comes to mind? Apart from when your caddy said, smash it in the trees left and let's make a 6.
I think my most nerve-wracking moment, to be honest, is a generalization, Ross, in that the most nerve-wracking moment is the opening tee shot in any event, particularly in the last round when in contention. And the day, and the buzz is managing those nerves. That's the buzz. And the day I don't have that nervous energy, if you like, on a first tee in a closing round is the day I stop competing.
Brilliant answer. Love it.
That's a generalization. I can't think of.
No, that's a great answer. Favourite club in the bag? Oh, it looks like there's debate here.
I think right now it's going to be the driver.
Excellent.
Yeah, the driver's been pretty solid.
Fantastic.
Yeah, driver.
Golfing idol growing up. Who was your idol?
Well, I'm going to have to say, as a real youngster, it would be Nicholas. It then probably moved to Seve.
Yep.
And I don't really think I have it. I'm a big McIlroy fan. I'm a big Rory McIlroy fan. I like Rory. Delighted he's got the Grand Slam in there. Yeah, I don't know that there's an I think the idol came from my younger years when I would idolise golfers.
Yeah.
And I would say Nicholas, who I met at the concession club.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah. Jeanette took a bundle of these fivers that were commissioned, when he played his last Open at St Andrews.
Yeah.
And he stood there and vigorously, he's religiously signed every single one of them.
That's awesome.
Met him there with Jacqueline, but I wouldn't say I don't idolise Rory McIlroy, just in case he's listening to this. But I'm a big Rory fan. And I was a Tiger fan. I think what Tiger has done for golf, other than all the other baggage that ultimately came with it, and it was a bit of a self-destruct button there for Tiger, to my mind. But what he did for the game of golf was phenomenal.
Yeah. Totally.
Probably Nicklaus and Palmer, Ross, actually, as a youngster, was all. I mean, I had that. You must have had it as well. That Arnold Palmer golf, with the wee golfer on the end of the club that you can't remember what that was called. We all had that. Yeah.
I think it'd be more my brother. My brother's more your age, Ronnie. I'm a Seve lad. Seve was winning the Open at St Andrews with the famous air punch was, I think for myself and loads of my pals. So Seve was the man for me.
What sticks out for me with Seve was when he won. Was it 11 when he was playing from the car park?
Yeah, and the one that I remember, because I was too young for that, but the other one he won at Lytham was phenomenal as well. What a round of golf he had with Nick Price to win that.
Yeah, and that was with the old Persimmon Woods and stuff like that.
They were stiffing like 4-irons and stuff. It was just crazy. Absolutely brilliant.
Phenomenal.
So, post-round meal of choice. What's your go-to? You're off the golf course.
We'll start with a beer. Although I'm trying to cut it down. I don't know that I have a favourite post-meal, to be honest. Whatever's going. I do enjoy a curry, but you don't get many of them in France or Italy. No, I don't have a favourite post-round meal. If I come back home from an event of a weekend and whatnot, I'd like to have a steak. Yeah.
Well, the amount of events you've been winning, that's got to be the celebration right there.
Yeah, I need to cut down my red meat intake, I think. It's not doing my blood pressure any good.
That American charge to go unique on the chicken. Brilliant. Right, last one here. Dream 4-ball. And I'm guessing you've probably said a few of them already, but what's your dream 4-ball?
Dream 4-ball? Right now, modern day, right now, Rory. I'd love to spend a day with Padraig Harrington.
Oh, absolutely.
He's one of the regular YouTubers that I watch, and I think Padraig is. And incidentally, he got played against and with Jody Flanagan, who played foursomes international golf with Padraig back in the day. Jody is a class act as a senior now. He got to the final of the US Senior 2 years ago, and you watch him swinging, and you're like, Jody, why didn't you go pro? You swing it like a pro. Current day, yeah, Rory, Tiger. I think Rory, Tiger, Scotty Scheffler. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would just be amazing to see them hitting the ball, wouldn't it?
But from the past, Nicholas Palmer, Hogan, Seve.
Yeah.
Nicholas Palmer, Hogan, Seve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That would be good.
Well, Ronnie, thanks so much for your time. It's been great for you to come on to the pod. I really appreciate it. All the best for the season coming up, and thanks for bringing, honestly, inspiration to all us Scottish golfers that, are dreaming of doing something when they get to the age of 50. It's brilliant.
You've got to do it. You're only as old as you feel, not as young as you feel. What is it? You know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Stay fit, stay healthy, stay competitive.
Absolutely.
That's the way.
Fantastic, Ronnie. Thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ross. Appreciate your time. Take care, mate.
That's it for this episode of Link by Golf. A big thanks to Ronnie Clark for sharing his passion and stories with us. All the best for this season coming up as well, Ronnie. Thanks as well to our partners at Lomond Golf Tours for an unforgettable golf experience in Scotland. Be sure to get in touch with Ian and his team. If you haven't yet, subscribe on your favourite podcast platform and leave a quick review. It really helps more listeners find the show. Until next time, keep golfing, stay connected, and remember, we're all linked by golf. Thank you.